dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A camp in Floyd County will be silent this summer due to safety concerns after the recent heavy rain. WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked with employees to see how they plan to continue providing services, though, to the community.
For more than 35 years, the Christian Appalachian Project has held summer camps at Camp Shawnee.
We've got swimming, fishing, canoeing, hiking, arts and crafts, Bible study, things like that.
But this summer, the gates will remain closed.
We have decided that we're going to have to suspend services at the camp this summer.
Owen Wright is the Director of Human Services. Wright, along with others at CAP, worry the road or hillside could give away at any time.
We're just concerned about children and everybody's safety.
And even though Camp Shawnee will not be open,
we're still going to be providing those good quality services that people come to expect from CAP.
They will not let this stop them from providing services to the youth of Eastern Kentucky.
Normally the kids come to camp and that's how they receive the service. So this year, we're looking at this as an opportunity to take the camp to the kids.
CAP is using this bump in the road to bring more children in, whose parents may be nervous about sending them to an overnight camp.
This may be a good opportunity to introduce them to Christian Appalachian Project's camp program,
in hopes to ease their worries and send them to Camp Shawnee next summer. In Floyd County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
The Christian Appalachian Project will be hosting many day camps throughout the summer. You can see the schedule on their Facebook page. Well, just like a couple of communities in Leslie County, further to the west in Burkesville, people remain stranded because of flooding. This is the Cumberland River, and it is still very high, but it has gone down some in the last 2 weeks. The river remains high because of efforts to stabilize and lower Lake Cumberland. Some people are still having to come and go by boat.
It's very unsettling. I remember, I think it was 2004 we had flood waters, but it didn't seem to be as severe and as long-term as it is now.
Local emergency officials say it could be worse. While at least one person was rescued and taken to the hospital, there's not been any serious injuries or deaths because of the flooding. If you plan to travel along US 23 this weekend through Ivell, expect some traffic. The road is still down to one lane both ways. Northbound lanes were closed the weekend before last. That's because a mudslide is threatening the road. Crews are still trying to wait for things to dry out to begin work on the slide. The Louisville Zoo and Mega Cavern will remain closed through the weekend after a sinkhole was found on the property this week. A large team of geotech and mining engineers have been on site investigating both above and below ground. The area where the sinkhole opened is away from all of the zoo animals. With rainfall expected this weekend, crews are taking additional steps to divert water from flowing into the Mega Cavern.
Well, while there is rain in the forecast, as you mentioned, for this weekend, Steve, we are looking at some nice conditions here in Pikeville for the East Kentucky Sport Boat and RV Show. Many people coming here saying, well, listen, we are tired of the rain. We're tired of the cold temperatures. You need to fix the forecast, Andrew. And that's where I blame Paige, Kelly, and Brandon. And in all seriousness, I think everyone's ready for spring and summer here. Let's take a look at a very nasty day it's been today. Notice to the north, Interstate 64. Snow still on the ground for portions there in Rowan County. Wet roadways, the main story. Satellite radar, you continue to look at that green, the rain there on radar across the Kentucky-Tennessee line, even on pinpoint Doppler as portions of southern Kentucky pick up on the rain. Notice those temperatures, still the mid to upper 30s for some, the 40s showing up in southern Kentucky and the Cumberland Valley, and the headlines are pretty simple. For the rest of the weekend, showers and storms will be possible. The bulk of that will be on your Saturday night with showers Sunday morning. We are warming up into the 60s and eventually the sunshine will return. This pattern the next 7 days, Steve, is pretty mild. A lot of people hoping it stays that way for the beginning of spring. We could hit 70 next week. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few short minutes.
That sounds good to me. Andrew, thank you very much. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump traveled to Alabama today to tour areas destroyed by tornadoes during the weekend. At least 23 people were killed, including 4 children, following the deadliest tornado to hit the U.S. in 6 years. CBS's Natalie Brand has more.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump stood silently at a row of white crosses outside a church in Lee County, Alabama. Each one representing the 23 people, including 4 children, who died when multiple tornadoes hit the South over the weekend.
One woman lost 10 people in her family, and an incredible woman, and I said, how did it go? She said, I lost 10 people.
Shortly before meeting with families and first responders, the president and first lady got a first-hand look at the devastation in the town of Beauregard. An EF4 tornado with 170-mile-per-hour winds tore through the community Sunday, leaving a path of devastation almost a mile wide.
We saw things that you wouldn't believe. Here it is. We saw the same thing.
In the wake of the storms, President Trump issued a disaster declaration to assist in the state's recovery.
We're providing all of the aid, so you'll see the FEMA people. Let them know as soon as you can, so they know that, because a lot of people don't know that. And they really need aid in this case.
He also thanked first responders who helped save lives.
The first responders have been, so many first responders right here, and you've been incredible. Law enforcement has been incredible.
Federal disaster teams are now working to assess the total extent of the damage. The recovery in Alabama is expected to take months. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
About 30 tornadoes hammered other parts of the southeast last weekend. Forecasters say more bad weather could hit the region this weekend. In Rowan County, a road is back open after a crash involving a state trooper. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet say that crash happened on Kentucky 801 at the I-64 overpass this morning. Police said a Chevrolet Silverado was driving westbound on Rice Road. The driver was unable to stop and slid through the intersection. The car crossed both lanes of traffic before hitting a second vehicle. The second vehicle spun into the path of a Kentucky State Trooper's car. Police said no one was hurt in the crash. The road was closed for about 2 hours. A trial date is now set for the teen police say opened fire at Marshall County High School last year, killing 2 students. Gabe Parker is charged with murder. Prosecutors will try him as an adult. 15-year-olds Bailey Holt and Preston Cope were killed. Parker also faces 14 counts of assault. His trial is set for June of next year. With the nasty weather outside, there's no better way to spend your weekend than at the East Kentucky Expo Center in Pikeville at the WYMT Sport, Boat, and RV Show. The event opened about an hour and a half ago. WYMT's Justin Case is live in Pikeville with a look at what you can expect. Justin.
Steve, I now know what I'd like to do when I retire. I'm going to go ahead and buy one of these RVs down here behind me, which are all really nice. They have everything you could imagine. I'm going to travel across the country. But in all seriousness, there's really something here for the whole family. Of course, vendors have set up the trout fishing pond so kids can go out and try to fish, try to catch some of those trout and try out their skills. But there's really something for the entire family. Like I said, some of these local vendors here, though, they say the perfect thing for them is to be able to connect with people in person and show them their amazing offers. They say that kind of connection is something you really just can't experience when you're shopping online.
No, there's nothing that beats that wow effect. You know, when they walk up, when they say wow, you know, there's nothing that beats that right there. The experience of seeing the glow in their eyes, and you know, and then hearing the stories of what they've caught on them from the years past that they bought from us. You know, there's just nothing like it.
Steve, we have the WYMT booth set up here. You can come by, say hello, register to win some prizes. And of course, this event is open until 9 tonight, but you can also stop by on Saturday and Sunday as well. We'll see you back here at 6. Steve?
All right, I'll be over there tomorrow. Look forward to seeing folks come by the YMT booth. Well, coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the clock is ticking to get Dollywood ready for its spring opening. Hear how the rain has caused a few issues. And in our Money Watch report, the U.S. economy picked up fewer job gains than expected last month.
When you see